start out. Welcome to season 2, episode 3. Zigglesbees is the guest. Welcome. Hold on. Where is it? They're a studio audience. They're not a button on my soundboard. If I tell you that, they are real. But yeah, welcome. Alright, so Ziggles is a VTuber, so that's why he does no video. So you're gonna see Purpose actually, the little box is gonna show up now. So you can see him there, and Ziggles is at the bottom of the box, so you can see who's talking at the same time. So yeah. Alright, so we start the podcast with, let me get my notes up. As I'm trying to recite from memory, but I was like, what are my notes? That's what notes are for. You make notes so you're not confused. Alright, so introductions. Alright, so introductions and Zigglebees. Oh, Zigglebee, or Ziggles, as I say, aka Ziggles. Tell us something about yourself, what you do. Yeah, just give us the 411 on Ziggles. And go.
Okay. I'm Zigglesbee, or Ziggles. I mean, whatever. But I stream on Twitch, and I pretty much just stream like random games that I feel like playing. And I'm a VTuber because I don't want to show my face. But yes, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
The little image, if you see the little image, it's what her face on the VTuber face looks like. If you can see on the little window there. But yeah. All right. So yes, and then I met you through Funky, right?
Yes,
I guess that was one. Yeah. So all right. And then, all right, so that is it. So, you also see the update of what you've been going from the last podcast. So, Purpose, you have a 2-month gap since we last talked to you. Purpose, can you actually talk? Is he actually on? Purpose is deafened because he's on the go.
I can talk.
All right. So what's been going on since the last 2 months? Missing the in the background.
Boy, it's been a while. I have been doing school like always. Almost finished with that. Been working a lot. And playing Genshin. I played some Diablo 4 beta. And
nice.
Last month I wasn't able to make it due to prior plans. My nephew graduated high school and is going away to college, so we were having a birthday / going away party for him, so I wasn't able to make it last month, but pretty much more of the same thing that I know. Just playing some games and doing school and work a lot.
Nice. All right, and I'm trying to think of anything interesting happened within the last month. Nope, I've been doing the same well too. So I've been streaming, moved to Kick. So if you just made it here, we are on a new platform. Be one of our topics of discussion tonight. But I made it over to Kick. The transition over here doesn't have the bells or whistles that Twitch does, but there's no ads. There's a lot, and thus it's all just me. I'm the only thing here to entertain you, and my soundboard. That's the only thing you get over here. But being on Kick has been pretty good. Got already to the affiliate part, so subs and everything go towards me. But that does go into the first topic. So the first topic being that it's Kick streaming, and I don't know if you're familiar with. I know I talked to Purpose before. Purpose is already kind of familiar with it. I'll give you the kind of the 401 first before we discuss.
Okay.
So it was announced from this one Twitch streamer, Trainwreck, and he does a lot of gambling streams. So his main source of sponsorship is from gambling. It's from stake.com, which is a casino site. Since then, Twitch banned gambling back in October of last year. So what had happened is that they decided to Twitch decided to partner up with people to create a new streaming platform, and 99% it looks exactly almost like Twitch, but with also gambling now. Gambling and all the different categories is very, like, if you looked at the actual like page and scroll through it, you're like, is this Twitch or is this Kick? But he only did that because the fact that they got rid of gambling, and he was really tired with all the rules and stipulations that Twitch has gone through changes over the years to create a new site. So, and the one incentive, which is probably a point of discussion, is that 95% revenue split. People think, how can they maintain it? How can they literally maintain that? Because servers are hard to maintain. It is backed by Stake, which is a gambling site, which literally is sponsoring still. If you look at their streams, if you see their streams, they have like thousands of people in their streams. So the main focus for Kick mostly has been they're doing a platform for everyone, but their main ones are Trainwreck, Aiden Ross, some streamers. But then there's also a little controversy that comes across with having a Kick platform where the moderation rules are not as stringent. Yeah, there's some things that have been coming across there. But since you're a streamer, I'll give you the kind of the head of like any thoughts or any opinions or anything have you heard so far? Because I know you probably have heard something. So I just want to poke your brain first and see.
Well, I think it's interesting that there's the focus of Kick, because I know there are other streaming platforms that are out there, such as like Trovo, that try to take away like a lot of the people from Twitch. But I think my main concern with Kick is the longevity of it and also the lack of moderation, because that's something that, I mean, I personally like protecting my viewers from, hate speech and, harmful things like that. But I mean, I guess we'll see. I don't know if they have the servers really to take the influx of streamers coming over, but it'll be interesting to see if their business model works and how much it really pulls away from Twitch in the end.
That's true. Purpose, any thoughts? I know we discussed this kind of on a stream before, but any other thoughts to add?
Well, I mean, I think as far as the platform's concerned, again, I echo the same worries. If we all thought that Twitch could maintain at a 95-5 split, then don't you think they would be doing it? They can't. They can't, and it's evidenced by the fact that they had 50-50 splits, and they had to do away with those because they can't. The sheer amount of influx of streamers that they were having to pay out with the smaller numbers, that like they have to pay out to even small streamers, and while we might not think that that's a whole lot of money, it's still money, and all you have to do is just reach affiliate, and then suddenly you're on the books, right? And
Right.
I think that in the long run, yes, Stake is putting a lot of money forth because it makes them a lot of money, but we'll see if they can continue doing that, because they were already paying those streamers and giving those streamers enhanced luck in the first place whenever they were streaming on Twitch. A lot of people don't even realize that was a thing, but the streamers, they could adjust the luck of the streamers and basically give them the ability to catch cards, because it made it look better. If people are streaming and they see their favorite casino streamer, their favorite gambling streamer hitting cards left and right, then it makes them feel like they could go and gamble and they can hit cards. And so they were using that money in that way. They were paying out to streamers in that way before. Now they're paying out to not just those streamers, but they're paying out to all streamers. And I just don't see a business model where 95-5 can stay. And I think that progressively on the way to what Kick becomes will likely become a much more expected split, 50-50, 60-40, maybe even 70-30. My other concern is that Kick isn't it's its own platform, but it's really not. It literally is, as you said, it is a carbon copy of Twitch to the point where a lot of people didn't realize that it wasn't Twitch, except for, again, like you said, lack of bells and whistles, lack of features.
Right.
I had not actually used Kick until today. Whenever I signed up to check out your stream, I went to the browse categories, hit my games. There is no all games category to see all of the games that are available to watch on Twitch. You have to hit the show more, and then you get to see 7 more. And then you have to hit show more, and you get to see 7 more. That is abysmal to navigate. Whenever I'm going to Twitch, I get to go view all, and then it shows me like 30, 40 games, and then I hit show more, and it just shows me like 30 or 40 more. Way faster, way more.
Faster? Wow.
Yeah, it's just way better of a way to navigate. And I'm not trying to bash on their service. It's just, it's still in its infancy. It says beta under the word.
It's still beta, it does. Yeah.
It's definitely got it. It's growing pains, and I would just like to. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Exactly. Yeah, like even the release of the app. So the app they released, I think, like I forget how many weeks, like last week or Monday. I think it was Monday. I forget, but they only released the iOS. So the app is branching out to the mobile audience. The interesting part about the app still is that the App Store hasn't taken a cut. So like if you give subs, if you give subs on your mobile, there's always that extra point that goes, or dollar that goes to the App Store. So I don't know how to even get around that, but the Kick app, if you give subs the same as you give on PC right now, so that does also question the longevity of it too. But to put that in perspective, the app does give more broader audience than if you're on your PC. You can be on the mobile, you're on the go, but there is no live app yet for Kick on the app. So, and then Trainwreck has been kind of the spokesperson for it, so it is still coming. But another aspect to consider that you're right, it is an infancy. It's very interesting where it goes from here. And just to count, my experience so far has been very interesting. Like positive, it's been like people that I've known have come by, some new people have showed up. It has been so far a pleasant experience, and a lot of streamers on here know everyone wants to kind of like grow and rise together, so everyone's kind of still kind of like following people and checking people out. So and then yes, I do agree the category browsing is still a little strange, but even in terms of talking about Kick, Facebook got rid of the partner program too, so there's literally only I think 10 people that are partnered with Facebook, but Facebook was probably like by this point off to right field, if anyone. I don't know. Have you guys ever gone to a Facebook stream? Because I have rarely ever gone to a Facebook stream.
I'm not on Facebook anymore, so I don't know.
There you go. Have you gone to Facebook?
Facebook streams are pretty much gone.
Yeah.
They're not. I mean, they pushed way too far into metaverse to really go anywhere with the stream. One thing that you said, and I actually caution is, you said that they're not giving any money to the to the App Store or anything. That there's no split there. That'll get their on iPhone. That'll just get them delisted. They won't be able to download the app. That's what happened to Fortnite.
I was over Fortnite. Yeah. People discuss the same thing.
Fortnite. Fortnite did that, and they delisted Fortnite on the iPhone until something was done.
I have to look in there if there's anything else different that's going on, because I don't know how they're able to do it.
I could tell you right now, they're opening up the browser. You're probably paying through Safari, and then if you're paying through Safari, then you're not using that, and you're totally. It's the same way that Fortnite did it. And,
gotcha.
I mean, they're just bypassing part of what, and I mean, I'm using Apple just because that was the big one, but Apple and Google both. Google, Android, all the different Play stores, they all have their contingencies that say you have to pay us, and so I mean I'm sure that'll come up eventually.
Yeah, it's just been released, so I'll see how this goes. That's true. All right.
Hasn't Trainwreck also been pretty critical recently of Kick?
Yes, too. I think the viewer bot, I think was
Yeah.
the thing. Let me see,
Mhm.
because I haven't looked it up on them.
I don't
But
think they've found a way to combat that yet.
yeah, I think like because like as we've seen on Twitch and people have seen on Twitch, anyone who's a Twitch streamer, there's always those people who come up, buy viewers for, and then I've seen it maybe on one person that I've known, where like literally the count says 80 in his chat, but there's
Mhm.
like no one talking. So
Yeah.
so you can see where it's artificially inflated. But yeah, I don't know if anything has yet come across, but Trainwreck has seen that that's been an issue of a lot of the streamers now. But I think that's like a common issue across multiple platforms about the
Yeah.
viewer bot and the artificial view count. But yeah, I'm not
I
sure,
also
babe. Okay.
I also think that it's worth mentioning. I know that you did send the video outlining um, stakes uh, stakes backing up kick,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that that was kind of kept hush hush, that doesn't look good for the platform. You have to be transparent. You can't keep things like that in the dark. You can't say,
Yep.
a train wreck can't come out and say, I'm launching this new site and we're going to be doing 95.5 and all this stuff, and then never mention that you're being backed by like
Mm-hmm.
the thing that you're streaming. Like that's that just looks really not
That
good.
is, yeah.
Mhm.
We'll have to see because I think even like my initial hearing about it, I'm still looking into it. Then I was like, steak. I'm like, oh, it's back so, and like, yeah, I'm interested to see how this pans out because like Trovo came out just a competitor, but I think I have not been a Trovo streamer seen them, so I think they may have dropped off the radar. I don't know if you guys heard any Trovo streamers or anyone who tried to go to Trovo and kind of bring back to Twitch.
No.
Yeah.
I have a Trovo account that I did for the day off Twitch, and there's a fair bit of people there. And what I like about Trovo is that they didn't carbon copy Twitch.
Mhm.
So that was the one thing I was very surprised when I made an account on Kick that it
This
looked
is
exactly like
exactly like
Twitch,
Twitch.
except
Yeah.
minus half the stuff that we're used to, like channel points and
Mhm.
all those other fun ways of getting viewers to engage.
Yeah.
But Trovo does have a unique way of having bits subs that's a little bit different. But I think people are still on there, but I haven't been on in a while, so I could be wrong.
All
I
right.
think speaking on other alternate platforms, one that we haven't really talked about much is the YouTube platform. It's definitely also got its growing pains.
That's true.
But I think that I've actually interacted with that one way more than I've interacted with anything outside of Twitch. And while I think that the chat definitely needs improvement, the ability to interact in a more meaningful way, and they definitely need to work on their latency issues, because like the whenever you stream and you're live streaming to everyone, there's definitely a pause that you just can't get rid of, or not a pause but a delay that you just can't get rid of. If they worked on like those few things, I think that they really could be a force to be reckoned with also, because like the discoverability on YouTube is like,
Oh, sorry.
at this point, it's really good. They're getting much better with it. They're if you know how, which maybe they need to do a better job of making it so that people can figure out where to go to watch live streams, because like the honest truth is it's like buried down in your explore tab, and like you have to go quite a way to figure out where to go to find the live streams. But once you get there, like it's like, oh, this is actually really good. Like I can't believe that they have such a good platform that they're hiding behind like 2 or 3 clicks that are not as intuitive. And the big worry before, and what used to be the case, was that if you were a YouTube creator making YouTube content, videos are the number one thing that they recommend to people, now followed by shorts. And it used to be that you didn't want to make shorts if you were making videos. You didn't want to live stream if you were doing either of the other two things, because it highly impacted your visibility on the other, types of content you're creating. So if you had a bad short that didn't do well, it would directly affect the views of your videos. And then if you had a bad video that didn't do well, you wouldn't get like suggested and live as much. And they've done away with that. They've really improved a lot in that aspect. So if their pay model is better, which currently it is better than Twitch, then maybe that is also another avenue to go about streaming.
That's true. A lot of Twitch streamers, the big ones have gone over to YouTube from Twitch. So just like was it Valkyrie, Taikudo, Little Wig, I believe. So yeah. So there's an avenue there. I feel like even discoverability, because the one thing I do want to kind of plank, because like discoverability is always hard on Twitch, because I think it's like a very, very, very oversaturated market. Like depending if you play something maybe common, such as like Apex or Call of Duty, there's a ton of Apex and Call of Duty streamers out there, and like literally, I mean, there's niches. So like, I don't know, I feel like some of the smaller ones are like, you can definitely expand there, but it's something also to point here. But yeah, YouTube is also, I think, going from the favorites of shorts. And I think even with Twitch, there were layoffs announced recently. The head of Twitch has been pretty much not like helping the platform grow so far. So a lot of growing pains. So we'll see what happens next couple of months. Either Kick will become predominant. Twitch may have to rethink their strategy. Maybe people will go to YouTube. So I don't know. But yes.
I think another big point that expands right there is, you talk about this, the CEO of Twitch and discoverability on the platform. The CEO of Twitch knows that it's a problem and actively just says that the way to grow on Twitch is to grow a different social media platform and then direct funnel people into Twitch. If that is the model, like, that is just poor. So like, as much as I think that Twitch is still the number one streaming platform right now, like, I think that if they do not clean up the way that they're going about things, that one of these other platforms will overtake them, because they just cannot continue to take revenue away while not promoting smaller creators and giving no one an avenue to get in on the platform. It's just not going to happen. Eventually, your smaller streamers are all going to go to these other platforms, and they're going to become the bigger streamers. And whenever they put out those YouTube videos on YouTube, they're not going to be directing you to Twitch. They're going to be directing you to Kick or to YouTube or Trovo or wherever else.
Mm-hmm.
And once they start doing that, then Twitch starts to fall. And that's the problem is, everyone thinks that you can't become a big content creator now, but you can ask any of the YouTube creators that just like pop up overnight. Like, if you work at it, if you put out the best content you can and learn from every piece of content that you put out, and you continue developing your content and honing your skills, you're gonna become big. It just takes time, and obviously there's some amount of luck factor and whatnot to it too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it'll take time with overtaking Twitch, especially where all the other platforms are currently at. So
Absolutely.
they have time to get their ducks in a row and everything else. So that's good a good thing for them. But also, it's good to have variety and be on multiple platforms because, like Twitch's growth model, it's you're getting your name out there in multiple avenues. That's going to bring people in. So
I think it's also
yeah.
something that I think you kind of were hinting at is it's also really good just to have competition in a space.
That's true.
Exactly.
That if there's competition in a space, then that can only benefit us, the creators and the creators and the people who are consuming that content. It gives us more features. It gives us better streams. It gives us, just more better things to take part in. Because if it's just Facebook and Facebook's just been the best forever, then eventually Facebook just becomes garbage because they're not incentivized to innovate anymore, and they're only incentivized to buy all the smaller stuff, and eventually it just becomes a bad platform. I use Facebook as an example because it's exactly what happened to them. They just aren't a good platform anymore on literal any level, if you ask me. And it's because they only concentrated on making more money, and eventually at some point,
that makes sense.
No competition breeds no innovation.
Exactly. It brings up one point. All right, so I know that would have been a big topic because it's a big thing right now, but moving on, as I need to progress the podcast going forward. All right, so and they ask me anything questions. So we do these Ziggles.
Okay, so wait, can we go back to the introductions part?
Yes, go ahead. What about the intro? Oh,
no,
we had the P.
I was actually just messing with you.
Oh, okay. All right. So, all right, Ziggles. So this is gonna be purpose question because like watching Ziggles over the past couple of months, I was like, VTubing, it seems very interesting. Like, I'm just wondering, like, what was the origins? Like, how did you get into it? Like, how did you decide to do a VTuber? Was it like is it technically difficult? Like,
I mean,
to get into it?
I didn't really feel comfortable being in front of a camera. I initially got into streaming to raise money for the National MS Society. So I got into streaming in a weird way and then found a community and stuck with it. So I used to not have anything there. It was just the gameplay or whatever I was doing. And then I think I just saw people have like PNG tubers or VTubers. So I looked that up and it was ridiculously expensive. So I did more research and I found a way to do it for free. And I was like, okay, I can do this. Gives, the people something else to look at and kind of connect with, because I personally like watching people that have a camera or have something where I feel like I'm connecting with them in a genuine way. And so I wanted to have that element with my streams. And yeah.
There you go.
That's great because you said that you like to consume the content where you see them basically, and this is something that I've said to a lot of my friends that don't use cameras. Is I'm just like, man, like if I don't know them, then I don't have anything to associate to them, right? Like any avatar, any person. And it just makes me feel a much more genuine connection to someone whenever I have like a visual representation of them, whether it be a VTuber, a PNG tuber, or whatever. It doesn't really matter if it's Ty's face on the screen or an animated face. Just that I get to see and associate them with something.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of wanted to strive for, because with YouTube videos, watch a YouTube video and never see the person. It's just a voice and your, whatever else. But there's that detachment from it. But with live streaming, it's more about connecting with your viewers to keep them there, and having that avenue is really great. And I would definitely recommend it for people who don't want to be on camera.
How's the avatar evolved over the time you've been?
It has.
It has.
It definitely has. I think I started off with a PNG tuber, so it's a very it was 2 images. It was very stagnant. So it'd be like a mouth closed and a mouth open, and now it's this anime style VTuber that's on a free platform. So I downloaded some software and it hooks up to my camera to kind of track my mouth and eyes. It seems to be working pretty well. It's still, glitchy with technology, especially since I'm going the free route. But
Oh, and the throwing the objects too never works.
Oh yeah, that I paid for, so I'm a little upset
Yeah.
about that.
Oh, dang.
But luckily, it was only $12, so it is what it is.
Yeah, and then
So,
go ahead. Sorry.
so for those people out there who are interested in something like that, what type of software would they be looking at? Like, what are some of the options out there for
So
paid, free, whatever?
there are so many different avenues they can go down. You can just type in VTuber on Steam, and there's several different free programs where you can create a custom one yourself, and then use that software to hook up with your camera to track you. And you can also pay for custom ones, which can run anywhere from ones that you can slightly customize to ones that are completely built and rigged custom for you, from like Etsy and Fiverr and Ko-Fi or Ko-fi, I don't know how to say it, but there are so many different ways depending on if you want to go the free route or the paid route, if that makes sense.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
Yeah.
okay. So like, obviously these are using cameras that are rigging the character to recognize facial recognition or whatever to see
Yeah.
when you're speaking and whatnot.
Mhm.
How demanding is it on your system if you are using, like say you're streaming from one PC? How demanding would that be?
Well, I only stream on one PC and I haven't had any issues with it. I can't give you the stats per se. So I don't know how much it's really, bogging my computer down. But there are other ways where you don't have to use a camera and it's just recognizing if you hook it up to your microphone, so it will react to the sound and move.
Okay.
Or you could just have hotkeys and manually do it yourself. But
That's
I know that I would never be able to keep up with that. Like, I have hotkeys for my VTuber to do different expressions, and I don't even remember what they are. So, yeah, I just leave it how it is.
There we go. All right. But yeah, I found that very interesting because I think just watching, because I never really sat and watched a VTuber. And Ziggles, I'm just going to compliment you. Have a very awesome voice.
Oh, thank you.
Also, so because it's very smooth. You almost rival Venus's voice. If you've ever heard Venus, if
I
you know
have
what I'm
not,
talking
but I will take
Yeah.
it as a compliment.
yeah. So, but yeah, definitely, and then the foot. What about? Hey, how did the foot one come up? I gotta ask that when we're talking. How did the foot Ziggles come up?
So, I don't know if everyone in Boopy a ghost, but she's she's a great person that's in several of our communities. Very hilarious, and she made a joke a long time ago about to save money for a PC, she would be selling foot pics. So I donated like $25 to her, and I was like, okay, I want green nail polish. And so she painted her nails green and sent it to me. And I'm like, oh, so Spoopy likes feet. So I then saw on Twitter this person that made a free foot tuber, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this just for this person, and it just became a thing from there.
So promo, Ziggles is doing a 24-hour stream tomorrow, so the foot VTuber
Foot
can
will
come
probably come out, yeah.
Yeah, at one point, if you're a foot person. Just saying. Okay.
It's a
All
very
right.
well moisturized foot, I will say that.
Yes, it's very. And then the toes wiggle with
They do.
with the voice. It's very nice. I like. Okay.
This is
So
if Ziggles ever changes or switches platforms from Twitch to Kick, then look out, because the FootTuber definitely has to come out more.
yeah,
on
that's a
Kick.
real very good.
True.
Sure, very sure. All right. So another topic. I know I focus topics around movies because that's usually whatever I do in my free time. But Scream 6. Has either of you seen Scream 6? Put it this way first.
No.
I've not,
Ziggles?
but I've heard a little bit about it.
Okay. All right. So the whole topic is the tropes. So Scream 6 is set like a typical horror movie, but has all the tropes like, don't go like upstairs into the house, or never go alone, never have sex, like all the typical tropes. this is the 6th movie in the franchise, and this one has decided to kind of break out of the tropes. So based on the article, something like you always think like one of the big things, legacy characters are safe. In this case, legacy characters aren't safe. Many people returned from the other movies. Courtney Cox came back. Hayden Panettiere came back. They made reappearances in this movie. I can't say much to spoil the plot of it, but they came back. But they were not safe in this movie. This is one of the tropes. Anything like anyone can become a casualty was a big one. So literally, the killer wasn't just killing the people that were in the movie. He killed random people. So like a lot of the tropes were getting broken in this movie, and like the one other thing it broke literally was even also like, well, it's in there, but it's a trope that's the final, like whoever's left over, they become part of the new franchise. And I forgot Scream 6, Scream 5 existed until I saw it again. I was like, wait, there was a Scream 5, but there was a Scream 5, but Scream 5 went into Scream 6 with like the continuation of the story, and also it left the place where all the Screams movies were shot in the same place before. And then also with like there was no predictability. The killer broke the pattern. Like it wasn't the same as in previous movies. There was more bigger budget, wilder spectacles. Like this is like okay, and this is why I kind of brought it up, because like the fact that you see in Hollywood now, a lot of things are either repeating themselves or going back to something like intellectual content that was popular once and reinventing it. Hence, trying to say what would be the best example currently, like Star Wars. So Star Wars, even though it's progressing past, like Purpose can probably chime in this, like going from 8 and 9 to I think 7, 8, 9, that it kind of had the same tropes as the previous movies. But is that the previous? So like, is that for nostalgia? Is that the fact that they need to come something new? But I think Scream 6 did an excellent job of breaking out of that and trying to progress. So the thing is, like, any other franchises would you want to see? Because like there's a lot of franchises, like Jurassic Park is having a new one coming out. Can they continue the formula? Indiana Jones is still going on. Can they continue that? I think they're actually going to stop Indiana Jones, actually. This is something I read.
Is it really still going on?
It's still going on with Harrison Ford, to be true. So like, it's like, can any franchises that you hold dear to your heart, maybe only went 3 and out or 1 and out, that you think could have gone more and started to evolve and break out of the trope of the trilogy? Like any prime example of a trilogy that could be outside of 3 movies. Do you think about it? Because I know a lot of them right now. I think like there's a lot of movies out there that I think that have done that. But is there any ones that have only done 3 and out that could do more than 3?
I personally think no. I think some things need to just end where they are, and
Fast and
sometimes
Furious
when
with
you
like
prolong
11
that,
films.
sometimes when you prolong it, it just same regurgitation over and over again. If it breaks some tropes, that's great, but at the end of the day, it's only going to do so much. And I would like to see more originality all in the movies. There's not many movies that I want to see anymore because of
That's
that.
true.
So, yeah. What about
That's
you,
true.
Purpose?
I think that whether we want them to change or not, they're going to make what's. That's why we have the 10th Fast and Furious coming out. That's why Indiana Jones has a new movie coming out next month.
Mhm.
Like, we have these movies because it's just what people go to see, and people don't experiment. People don't go and watch something new. New IPs aren't nearly as successful as old IPs, and so they're taking a chance anytime that they make a new IP. And as a result, you're betting on something that is it's really a crapshoot. You're not sure.
Yeah.
And that sucks because again, this stifles originality. It stifles the the entire entertainment industry because we're too worried about what's going to make the most money. And the most money is going to be made by Marvel, Star Wars, all these things. I
But I wouldn't
do
necessarily
think
think it's popular thought. It's more about them just, hey, what's the easiest thing we can crank out and get our money returned with?
well, it's yeah. I mean, the easiest thing is always going to be something that's already there because people will go see it.
Mm-hmm.
They're already familiar with it. All the work's already done, and you know, like you talk about movies going away from tropes and things like that. I think that the some of the problem with that is actually people get upset that they moved away from
Yeah, exactly.
the trope that they went for, and anymore. Like I went to go see John Wick 4 this last week, and I went in knowing what I was going into. I know what a John Wick movie is. I know what I'm gonna see. I came out of a 3-hour movie that, in the words of Nuka, she said, "Well, that could have been like a 30-minute movie." Yes, it could have. But the trope with John Wick is that he's gonna shoot somebody 6 times and then still have to, double tap him in the face. And so it's just a really complicated thing where I love going and supporting new movies because it puts more content out there, right?
Right.
Maybe if I go to see this movie, then maybe I'll get a second one of it because I'm not gonna get another new one. It sucks.
The one thing I would see, but it's kind of random tangent now. I just thought about it. I don't know if you guys are Power Rangers because I was born in that time period. Like my number from Power Rangers fans at all?
Yeah, Kimberly and Tommy are meant to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like the reboot of the movie failed terribly, even though it was live action and like to try to revamp it. But then they are bringing the 30th anniversary to Netflix, and then possibly they're going to maybe branch out to maybe a 14 plus, so not a kid series, but a 14 plus series. So maybe that might bring more life back into the Power Rangers franchise. And that I would have loved to see more into the Power Rangers franchise for all the kids that are now adults, because people that grew up with that show remember that. But now all the kids that are in watching, like, it's the same. It's literally like Power Rangers has gone through every reiteration. It's the same, almost the same kind of like process, but a different style. And it's like it's gone over and over again. And for kids, it's great. But then once you get to the adult, that's what I want to see. It's a good Mighty Morphin or Power Rangers franchise continuation that is geared for the older audiences and rather than the kids or the young audience.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
I would watch it.
Yes, exactly. But to give you some numbers now, Scream, just looked up. Scream 6 had a budget of 33 to 35 million. Their first weekend in the box office, they grossed about 44.5, but now they're running right now 142.3 million. So it's doing well, being that it's kind of broke out of the tropes and everything. So just saying, some ways like to revisit some old and ultra powers. But if anyone watching from trying to create something new, we're getting to the point where everything seems to be recycled from something and was there. And then even another Transformers movie is coming out. I don't even know what story is progressing, how they figuring it out. Like it's like the Beast now. I don't understand how they even got to this point. So I'm totally lost there. But
look, we got to this point because they haven't done any movies that are live action with the Beast bots. Okay, we got to do the Beast bots because they were cool.
Yeah, sorry. There you go.
To go back a topic or a point in the topic, rest in peace, David Frank. Who will be missed. Tommy forever.
Exactly.
Tommy forever.
All right, moving on. Ziggles, your turn to figure. Do you have an Ask Me Anything question for Writer Purpose myself?
How did you guys meet and start doing all this?
Oh, the origin of the podcast. All right, so I
What
was.
does TPP stand for?
We never know. The world will never know if you weren't there day one. It could be anything. It could be. There's some merch on my site. It's like tarantula something party. I can't remember exactly. Or toilet paper party.
Toilet paper party was fun.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So like, what happened was that well, I know Purpose beforehand, but the only reason why the podcast got started was I was streaming for a while with one of our friends, Joe. Used to be Tim, but now they go by Joe. But we were playing a game, and we were like just on there, and then Vita's hopped in our chat because we were like, she's like, you guys are too old, you shouldn't be up here so long. So we just started talking, and then I think we were just going on, and then I don't know how did you get roped in to coming in? Because we were talking about what, Dungeons and Dragons or something at that
Yeah,
point.
you all started talking about wanting to like explore Dungeons and Dragons a little bit and things, and like you just kept dragging on, and I was supposed to go to sleep like 2 hours ago, and I was just listening, and then I was like, then it was like Venus had jumped in, and you guys were talking, and then I was just like, screw it, I'm jumping in on this. We're gonna talk some more. It was much easier to talk in the Discord than it was to talk like in the chat also. So
yeah, exactly. So we were
I think at that point I had actually already said, "Hey guys, I'm going to bed" in the chat, and then like 30 minutes later,
never mind. Just go ahead. Exactly. So we farmed that, started doing monthly. We've kind of like whittled down now. We're just me and Purpose, but Purpose is like, I'll still do a video. I'm like, sure, if you want to do it, I'm all for having someone to bounce, conversation off too. So Purpose is still here, I'm still here, and as it goes, it's just a guess. So we're still continuing it once a month. It's kind of a tradition. We just merch in the store in case of that, but that's how we kind of got started. I knew Purpose beforehand because his partner, significant other wife, Nuka, is also a streamer. So I met him through her, and I think the interesting part, the first impression of Purpose is like, Purpose, you're a great mod. I gotta be like Purpose. And then literally Purpose is like, I don't know what happened, Purpose. You kind of like, did you take a step back and you're just like, oh, a lot of people here, they can mod now, or are you still doing? What's your opinion of that?
So it was kind of I was modding, and we didn't have any other moderators in Nuka's stream we had a couple, but it was like they weren't always there, and I was just always in the stream. And it was also part of the starting of the stream, right? In the beginning hours of that stream, it was like, we need these commands made. We need, all this different stuff being done. And so Nuka's busy streaming, so I just decided, well, they're asking for this type of command, they're asking for that, they want this to happen, and so I was just, while moderating, I would be in the background just kind of like looking into, well, how do I do this? How do I accomplish the thing that they're asking for? How do I make a death counter in chat or whatever? And eventually I just gotten to the point where, I was still there all the time, but we did have like, Ty is a really good mod, and Ty was moderating a lot, and we had Tim come in, and Joe now, and Joe was modding, and we had gained enough mods that were there all the time that I didn't have to be as involved in that portion of the modding. And I was able to kind of pull back and take a well, no, not pull up Genshin. I did pull up Genshin sometimes, but I was able to more observe and help the stream in a different capacity. You
It's
know,
like,
be more critiquing and hey, how can we improve this? How can I noticed this was bad about the stream. How can we address that problem? And try to go about it that way instead of just being the mod. I was able to more, you
Yeah.
know, help out in that way. So
exactly.
Very cool.
Exactly. All right. But yes, that's how we
oh
met.
yeah,
So
that's
how
what
this
that's
started.
that's why I don't mod quite as much or do as much. And at this point in that, you know, Nuka's moved to being a day streamer most of the time. Well, I'm at work during the day, so I can't mod as
Yeah.
well from my phone. Twitch is a complaint of mine about Twitch is their moderation from the Twitch app on your phones is just garbage.
Oh,
So
yeah.
It really is.
it
Yeah.
really makes it harder for me to do anything in that way. And then also, you know, Nuka's garnered a really good community where there isn't much moderation needed. You know, we don't have people, and whenever people do pop in and they do something wrong, like the community's all over them. Like, hey, just get, you know, we don't do that here.
Exactly.
Right.
And so, you know, it's just a lot easier for me to, you know, be able to do other things.
And that leads into the kitchen segment, which I know you're missing your partner in crime. And I know I said I was going to try. I did try, attempt, and then it fell by the wayside. I don't know why. Maybe I got kind of sidetracked thinking. But what's going on in Genshin world? And Ziggles, do you play Genshin at all or no? I don't know if you do.
I do. I need to play again though.
Oh, there you go. There's
no.
someone to talk to. Oh, we played it too.
Okay,
Oh.
so today they dropped the 3.6 special program, which is what they call their announcement videos when they announce the new content that's coming, and they talk about the couple new characters they have and whatever events are coming up in the next month and a half. 3.6 looks really cool. I think that I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that. They're releasing a much anticipated character that was announced as being a playable character right after Leeway was released, and they're finally two entire areas of Teyvat later. They're finally releasing Baiju, will come out next month or this month now, or yeah, next month tomorrow. But
Tomorrow, yeah.
they're releasing Baiju and then Kava, and Kava's a really cool character. I'm really into them. I don't know if I'll pull on those characters. Much anticipated, but my account's pretty stacked, and I really need to work more on my weapons than I do on my characters. I have plenty of characters to, you know, I have good rounded teams. I just need better weapons for them. I've been pulling on weapon banners this banner pool, and I got a 5-star, just not the one that I wanted from the banner, and that was disappointing. But it happens, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I think that the game is definitely looking pretty cool. They have a lot of cool stuff coming in the pipeline, and just the amount of, again, going back to what I've said the last couple times, the amount of content in Sumeru is just insane. I finally, after playing for a year and 3 months now, I have finally 100%ed Mondstadt, so there's nothing left for me to do in Mondstadt aside from whenever they do events there. And I'm working on Leeway now. I'm currently caught up on all of my story quests. I have everything completed as far as story is concerned, and the story is great, and I can't wait for the Nahida Part 2 story to come with 3.6. It's going to be awesome, and I can't wait to see last time they almost made me cry with that story, so we'll see if they can do it again.
I'm okay. I'm just curious though, because I was wondering, is Genshin is not on any portable platforms right now? Is it just on the PC currently?
It's on, no, it's on PlayStation. It's on
PlayStation,
all mobile devices, as far as like your phones. It
Okay.
plays great. It plays great on phone.
Oh,
And
okay.
then it's on PC.
I think I think that's
It's
my
currently,
downside because it's on PC. I'm stuck. I don't never sit down long enough to do it. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
it's currently in development on Nintendo on the Switch, but that's been in development for like a year now, a year and a half,
Okay.
and like I think that they're just running into issues with the power of the system. That, and then also it's an online game, and with it being an online game, like the Nintendo Switch, if you don't have it hardwired, it's just not good online.
That makes
So
sense. Yeah.
over Wi-Fi, Nintendo Switch is just kind of a dumpster fire. So we'll see. Maybe with the release of the unannounced Switch 2, the world's worst kept secret, maybe we'll see them release it for that. I'm surprised that they haven't released it on the Xbox. I assume that there's a reason, but maybe they have some sort of exclusivity deal with PlayStation.
Possibly,
I do know that they have like weapons and like different like cosmetics that are exclusive to PlayStation that you like literally like you can use your account on PlayStation and on PC, and like if there's like the one of the weapons they give you, it literally just says on it PlayStation Network only. If you use this and you're not playing on a PlayStation, it does nothing. Like what?
Oh, there.
Okay, I guess you
Oh.
can only use that on PlayStation. Like it's on your account on the PC. You just it's just a cosmetic on PC.
Gotcha. I think that's my downside because I think it's on PC. I need to, I guess, try it on my phone and see if
Yeah,
actually
on the
puts some time in.
phone. So my complaint about the phone is anytime that you're dealing with a phone game, you're dealing with the controls being on your phone, right?
Right.
But if your phone is able to pair with a controller, it does support controllers. So like
Oh.
you could just plug it into your like you could just hook up a controller to your phone and play it on phone if you really wanted to. I mean,
Okay.
my preferable platform is the PC, but I do understand where, if you don't have time to sit down in front of a PC, or if you're in front of your PC, you just want to be doing something else, it can, it can very much cause issues for playing Genshin. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Good point. I will make a conscious effort this time,
Hey.
this month, to try and put some time into it. Siggles, I suggest you try the same to see you get back into it.
I was
Yeah.
going to ask,
I need
what,
to.
Ziggles, what is your opinion on the game, and why are you on a hiatus or not playing?
Well, I recently not
Yeah.
too far into it. I'm not even to the point where I can play yet, but it seems like a nice free knockoff of Breath of the Wild, if that's not horrible to say. But I mean, it's in terms of like the monsters and everything else, and it's very similar to Breath of the Wild in my opinion. But it's really fun. One of my friends recommended it to me, and I don't know, I have so many games that I forget that they exist. I hyper focus on one thing and nothing else
I'm the
exists
same.
anymore.
I've been doing Tarkov for a bit, so I've been hyper focused on Tarkov. But yeah.
Yeah, I hear that. I definitely do agree. It definitely it mimics Breath of the Wild in many ways. It's one of those games though where, and we've talked with Ty a lot about it, where the story is just so damn good.
Yeah.
Like So Nuka and I, we have 3 daughters, and they all 3 play also. And my oldest daughter, she she is she's 14, so she's in those teenage years, and boy, the amount of times that she's just like, just go away. I don't wanna talk about Genshin right now, or I don't like you walk in and you're just like, are you crying? And she goes, no, just walk away. So I don't wanna, because like you get so attached to these characters and the stories behind the characters and the things that there's a lot of them are so relatable, and even though it's like an anime kind of game, and it's very not set in a real world, like you can still identify with how the characters are feeling and the emotions they're going through, and you grow connected to them. And then whenever something bad happens or something just sad happens, something tragic, and you're just like, oh, like your heart kind of breaks for them. And some of the characters are just so well done. Like there's one of my favorite characters, Shao. He like just you listen to the way that he talks about his position and what he does, and like what he's been through in the past, and his losses and things like that, and you're just like, this poor guy doesn't deserve any of that. Like, he's just so kind-hearted. He just wants to help everyone out, and like he has to endure all of this pain and suffering on the behalf of just doing what's right to help others. Like, that is wow. It like, again, the characters are just so good, and the story's so good.
I guess I should pay attention to the characters a little more. You would not like the nicknames I have for my characters.
Oh, I have nicknames for the characters for sure. Like, Spoopy a Ghost really dislikes me for calling Amber useless, but she's useless.
She is.
Don't tell her that. She get upset.
Wow.
Oh, I'm not nice to. I don't think I've been nice to any of the characters so far.
So yeah, the beginning characters, the ones that you get in the very beginning, your Kaya, Amber, Lisa.
Is Kaya the blonde one?
No, Kaya is the blue-haired guy with an eye patch.
Oh yeah.
So like those characters, like the first few characters that you unlock, like, oh man, some of them I could just tear into. But like, but then there's like Lisa and Amber are the 2 worst for me. Like I just don't. Their characters, I don't resonate with. Like, I don't resonate with their characters, and they really feel like very. Like, Lisa feels like the trope of the overly flirtatious woman that like is constantly like, it's just,
she's the electric witchy looking one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, her personality, I just don't like it. I don't like whenever she's like calling me honey and all this stuff. I'm just like, yeah, why are you doing, like, I don't understand. And then like, and then Amber, she's just useless. And then you have Kaya, which Kaya is just like, he's getting a little better. They've not really done a whole lot with him since the first few quests. Like, they kind of just drop off and you don't ever see him again, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, like, they just started talking about him again. So that's like, and his character's kind of a little cooler once you get to know a little bit of his backstory. But more of the characters that you get, like, from banner pulls and stuff, and they, like, so you said that you're still in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
As you progress through the game, you're gonna unlock, like, there's more than one storyline going on. Like, there's the story quest, and then there's the Archon story quest, and that all has to do with, like, your journey with the different gods of the different regions and getting to know those gods of the region. And then you'll have character story quests, and those character story quests are really where you get a lot of the meat of this character that I barely know that I just pulled off of a banner. Like, this really tells me their story and where they came from and what they're up to and how they relate to the traveler and things like that. Then you get like the hangouts, and like the hangouts are just like a small story where you just like go through this small little story, and you're just hanging out with a specific character and like going through like a day or two with them and like, you know, helping them with something and hanging out with them. And those are the type, the character story quest and the hangouts are where you really get a lot of the lore behind the characters, and you really get attached to them. And then you'll run into them within the normal story quest and the Archon story quest, and then you're like, well, I already know about this backstory to Shao, and now you get to see him like, you know, lose more within this quest, and you're like, oh my gosh, now I'm seeing it firsthand. Like, he's told me about this stuff, but now I get to see him lose more, and it's like that's kind of what touches you and really gets you attached to characters. I feel like they just do a really good job, and it's one of, like, for me, stories and games don't matter. Most of the time, the way I play games, for example, I play a lot of, like, I used to play a lot of shooter games. What story is there to a shooter game, right? You're just shooting at people. Yeah. And then I play a lot of like Diablo ARPG type games where like there's a lot of lore to those games, but I'll tell you that the escape button is my favorite button, because then I get to skip all that lore and get straight to the action and itemize my character. And that's really what I'm after. But with this game in particular, like, they did a really good job of just making me feel attached to the characters to the point where it's like I'm not hitting the spacebar button unless it's just a story that's like a super side story niche, like you're like with a character that you're never gonna see again, like just an NPC you're never gonna see again. I might skip some of that, but like for the most part, like I will watch every cutscene. I will listen to all the dialogue. I will read all the dialogue with the important characters, and I feel connected to those characters. And they like, I don't know how they did it, but they presented the game in a way which actually made me feel like I cared for the characters, and I actually don't want to skip their dialogue.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That answers that question. So Pepper, as a segue into that, do you have a AMA question, maybe for Ziggles or myself?
Yeah, that's hard because I didn't think about this.
Sorry, probably playing things.
We went straight from my segment straight into my question.
Exactly.
Ziggles, what kind of games do you like to play? Aside from Overwatch.
Overwatch is very fun.
I've gotten better at Overwatch too, I'm just saying. Yeah, go ahead.
I like a variety of games. My first, like, I didn't really get into gaming until college. So the Mass Effect series was really big for me.
Where's it going?
That probably got me into gaming. And then when I initially started streaming, I was a Call of Duty streamer, pretty much exclusively.
Oh wow, I would not have expected that. Okay.
Yeah. I used to love playing Cyber Attack and stuff like that, and just trolling people on there. It was just really fun because, I mean, especially, you know, sounding very feminine and, you know, that type of space, you definitely get harassed quite a bit.
That's
so
true.
I like to have, you know, my fun. But yeah, I mean, RPGs a little bit, but I mean, I'm constantly hitting skip on the story half the time. where I'm making the story up in my head. But yeah, I mostly like community games, multiplayer games, stuff like that, because I guess I got into gaming with my boyfriend at the time, so I got into it watching initially. So anything that had a good story or that I could relate with someone else about and just hang out, watch it, play it, something like that. And multiplayer games, you get to hang with your friends. So I'm not too picky, but I'm not necessarily very skilled either, being a relatively new gamer. So yeah, just kind of a wide variety.
Watch us stress out a played out tomorrow. It's gonna be hilarious. if you didn't see the last hour, oh my god, you see the stress. It's like, and then like the second round, she's like, you don't want the phone, so we just forgo the phone for the whole time. But we're doing good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Until the grief piled up. I'm very competitive. That's a problem that I have. I take things seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. That's very interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't expect you. I couldn't picture you playing Call of Duty. That's an interesting thought. Because I see you play Overwatch a lot, and I know you're pretty good at Overwatch. I'm just like, and I was trying to channel when I was playing with my friend Gishi today, and I was like Moira. I was like, I know Ziggles likes Moira a lot. Let me see if I channel how she does it. So I was like, heal, screen, throw with balls. So I was trying to figure out how to play that.
It helps
well.
if you kind of angrily shout, "Get jizzed on!"
No, get jizzed on.
Stuff like that. While you're doing it, it definitely.
Exactly.
For sure.
Yeah. So definitely, yeah. I see you play a couple of different games, but I'm very interested. Not to plug it. Ziggles has a 2-year anniversary, 24-hour stream tomorrow. So definitely, you want to catch more Ziggles. He's starting like around noon Eastern.
Yes.
Yeah, so noon Eastern for at least 24 hours. And she says she'll play co-op games, so just gotta show up whenever, and she'll be like, "You're here, we'll play, a co-op game." So I guess that's how it works. I'm gonna show up one time, and be like, "All right, I can do Phasmo, play it up, or whatever." So we'll see how that
I have all of that, so we can play it all.
Yeah, there you go. But definitely, yeah, that was very interesting for sure. All right, so we reached that end. We're gonna cap the podcast off, but the podcast off is one of the things that I love to talk about is what is making you happy this week. Could be something that you did, something that you experienced, something maybe guilty pleasure on TV that you've been binging. And we'll start with the guest Ziggles. What has been making you happy this week?
Well, I guess hanging out with my friends in Discord. I do that quite a bit. We tend to binge TV shows in there. Right now we're watching a rather depressing one. We're watching A Handmaid's Tale because I haven't seen that. But even though that's depressing, it's still nice hanging out with friends. So just ignore the content and just think of the happy part.
There you go.
But what about you guys?
Purpose is going to hit me because I say this usually every time. It's currently The Mandalorian and the Star Trek. They're all at the same time. That's why I'm like, this is sci-fi overload for me. Like I could watch one show in the middle of the week and then Mandalorian, and I forget what days they come on. Wait, is the new Mando episode out? I might have missed it. But yeah, I can watch them both at the same time. So like sci-fi shows in the particular genres that I really purpose, like Mando. I'm a big Mando fan. If you don't know, my emotes on here are all Mandalorian, mostly emotes. I'm a big fan of that. And then Star Trek or Picard. That's just like, it's been hitting so good because literally, see that one right there. Just like, it's been hitting so good because of like the Next Generation cast is back in it. So you get to see them like 20 years later from when they were in the show. So it's literally, it's just like, it's been a nostalgia trip after Star Wars and that. That's been making me interesting. And I will keep that in mind purpose till next month. I won't say the same thing again. Because I said Star Trek Lower Decks for like 2 months in a row, and I was like, did I say that twice? I did say that twice. I mean, you gave me very much.
If you said it last
grief
month,
for
then that means you get 3 months in a row. So
yeah, exactly, 3 months in a row. But yeah, that's been pretty much on the what's been very interesting for me this week. Purpose. Anything going on with you?
Right. Yeah, I actually have a longer list. Okay, things making me happy. So first off, this goes back a couple weeks, and it also is Mandalorian. But when did stormtroopers learn how to shoot? because they were like they were actually pretty decent at shooting in one of the recent episodes, and they were like hitting targets and I mean not moving targets, but like they were hitting stuff. But I thought that that was kind of cool that they're defeating their trope of stormtroopers can't hit anything. And another thing is I mentioned it earlier. D4. I played the last 2 weekends. I played in the beta and the open beta, the closed beta and open beta. I know that a lot of people dislike certain parts of it, blah 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 blah, whatever. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought that the depth could be great. Oh, Spoopy, we were talking about you.
A lot.
Yes,
a lot. I'm happy because Spoopy showed up for the podcast. But D4, I super was into that. I made 3 different characters over the 2 weekends. The level cap was 25. I hit 25 on 2 of the 3 of them. One of them I didn't because I decided that I was going to try out Necro whenever Necro was released on the second beta weekend. Super excited. I think there's going to be a lot of depth to characters. I think that the game looks really good, and I think that what issues they do have, they have a good opportunity to fix if they want to, and if not, I think that they're not big enough they're not big enough issues that I really care. And then finally, even though I'm happy about it, but I'm also stressed as all get out. This coming weekend, I will start remodeling my bathroom. We have to tear everything out, and we're going to be putting a new floor, I think that, so we had a leak spring in our tub, and it has caused damage to the flooring, and so I have to do new subfloor, possibly some repair to joists, and gonna have to redo all the flooring while we're at it. May as well just redo the walls and put in all new everything, because why not? I mean, if I'm already tearing every bit of it out, then I may as well just remodel the whole thing. And so I have a friend coming over. We're going to start that next Friday, and it's going to be a great time. And again, Foofy showed up to the podcast, and that is great.
That was great too. There you go. There you go. All right.
I will not mention the
for one
character. The name that I mentioned earlier. Amber is a great character. Amber is a great character.
Oh, she called it out. Oh, wait, only 2%. Ah, there you go. All right, so we're gonna end it there. But Ziggles, where can people find you? Just give a reminder.
Right now on Twitch. So twitch.tv/Zigglesbee.
Zigglesbee, there you go. All right, so we're gonna end the podcast here. We'll be back next month with a new guest. We'll see if we'll be on Kick. Who knows how it's going to progress. We talked about it a lot, but we'll see where we'll end up there. Thank you, Purpose. Thank you, Ziggles, for being here. I have to figure out this rating system was broken earlier, so let me see if I can figure this out and see where we're going. If we're right somewhere. I'm gonna put the ending screen up though, because I have to put the ending screen up. They're still here. They can still hear you, but we're ending here. So let me see. All right, let's looking
Don't say anything weird.
Don't say anything weird. Sorry.
I would like to point out, I only completed one of my daily quests while playing Genshin during the stream, and that's actually an accomplishment, because that normally takes me like 5 minutes to complete all 4. So
there you go.
I was only playing Genshin maybe a minute out of the whole stream.
It
was open the whole time, but
yeah.
it was open the whole time, but I was not playing this time.